was seen screaming in pain for food and water, especially with the environment the way it was recently. Nearby residents also allege that they had requested authorities to come quickly and help her, but to no avail.
Yaru bandilva?
Daru bantilla.
Yaru bandilva? क्या चाहिए
अवा ಎಂತ ಬೇಕು ಅವ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವ
This is the house where she resides, and it appears the front door is locked, completely locked, inaccessible. And the only way these people knew she was inside is because she was crying inside the house.
100-year-old house has been there, and a lot of people have vacated this area for the very fact that this is.
This is a house that is perhaps about 100 years old, an ancestral home of this family, and it was locked, padlocked on the outside, which means that somebody has locked her in.
Yaru bandilva nimge? Yaru bandilva?
Daru bantilla.
As of what we've learned so far, nobody's broken that lock to enter the house.
Yaru bandilva? क्या चाहिए?
So an elderly woman who has been holed up in her house, and we are beginning to understand how she has been taken care of, because there's absolutely nobody else there. And this was right in an area prone to landslides.
Daru bantilla.
Yaru bandilva? क्या चाहिए?
This is one of many such unfortunate stories. We've seen heart-wrenching stories, but none that also show some level of apathy, seemingly on the part of family members. My colleague Suraj Suresh happened to pass by this particular house. Let's understand what's happened from him.
NEWS9 has been trying to reach out nooks and corners of Kodagu district, and we are trying to see the aftermath of the entire floods and landslides in the entire area. When we were on our way to explore the entire place of Mukorlu, which is the highest flood hit and landslide hit area, we found one heart-wrenching incident. Right now I am in one such place where a 100-year-old house has been there, and a lot of people have vacated this area for the very fact that this is quite old and there are possibilities that the entire house might come crashing down. As a matter of fact, there is another landslide which occurred on the other side of the house, and luckily the house didn't collapse after this landslide, and the muggle didn't reach this house. But that's not what we are trying to highlight. We have another story amidst all of this. Now you may ask, what is there inside this house, or what has happened inside this house? Let's take you through what exactly has happened. This is what we're talking about. An old lady who's been left inside this house for weeks together, even when there was torrential rains and landslides next to the house. She's been suffering from quite some time, is what we learnt. A heart-wrenching incident indeed, where she's been struggling for days together. We've heard that family members do visit her, but even after all of that, she's been suffering for days now. The visuals should talk.
Awa? 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 Awa illonde awa? Awa? ಎಂತ ಬೇಕು ಅವ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕವ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕವ ನಾ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕೀಗ ಅವ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಟಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆಂಟಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಊಟ ತಕ ಬಂದಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಳ ಎಂತ ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ.
You'll have tears after you see this. I've had tears in my eyes when I saw this first. I have with me one of them who's been part of this, who's been here, who's been trying to make sure that she's safe. Let's just ask him when this all started, who this person is, and what exactly has happened. What exactly happened here? Who is she? And
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಮುಕ್ಕೋಡ್ಲು ಗ್ರಾಮದ ಹೊದಕನ, ಇದು ಮಾನಡ್ಕನ ಮನೆ. ಮಾನಡ್ಕ ಮನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಸ್ಲೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಮಾನಡ್ಕನ ಪೊನ್ನಪ್ಪನವರ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅವರ ಅಂಗಳದಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದು 1.5 month ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವರ ಅದೇ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಅವ್ವ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಅವ್ವ 103 years ಓಲ್ಡ್. ಅವರ ಸೊಸೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮನೆ ಕರೆದು ನಾವು ಬಂದು, ಅವ್ರು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಅವ್ವನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೇಲಿ. ಅವರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಈ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಅವರು ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಊಟ ತಂದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ವ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ನ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಕಾವೇರಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋರು 85 years 103 years ಡಬಲ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಆರ್ಮಿಯವ್ರು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಡಿಕೇರಿ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯಿಂದ ಅದು ಬಿತ್ತರಾಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಗೂ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಡೈಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಈಗ ಇವತ್ತು ನಂದು 6ನೇ ದಿನ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ವಿಲೇಜ್ಗೆ. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಬಟ್ the army has tried to reach out to her, and a lot of rescue teams have in fact come here. When the entire village was flooded with water, a lot of them did in fact come here. Why couldn't she be rescued?
ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನೀವು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ರೆಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ. ಅವರು ಆ ಥರ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇದಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ 103 years ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅವರು ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾರೋ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಅವ್ವನ ಆರ್ಮಿಯವ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಆಕಾಶವಾಣಿಗೆ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
What about reaching out to authorities? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who are working to rescue all these people who are stranded like this. Now, she is quite old and she cannot sustain on her own. So, have you tried to reach out to district authorities? Because they are trying their best, but have you intimated them that such an incident is happening? She is staying inside this locked up house.
ಈಗ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಗಿಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಮಗ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವರ ಮೊಮ್ಮಗ ಕಾರ್ಗಿಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವ್ನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ. ನಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಬರಲಿ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, 2 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮನೂ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಪಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರವೀಣ, ಕೂರ್ ರೆಜಿಮೆಂಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಗಿಲ್ ಕೂರ್ ರೆಜಿಮೆಂಟ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ 4 ಜನ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಕ್ಕೋಣ ಯುವಕರು. ನಾಪಣ್ಣ ಪ್ರವೀಣ, ಕೊಟ್ಟಕೆರೆನ ಜಗ್ಗೇಶ್, ಮಾನಡ್ಕನ ದೀಪಕ್, ಇವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಈಗ ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಇವರ ಮನೆ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ, ಇವರ ಈ ಜಾಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಏನು ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಟಿವಿ ನೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಇಡೀ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು, ಏನು ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಏನು ನಡೀತಿದೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು 6ನೇ ದಿನ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮುಕ್ಕೋಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
This is what one of the residents had to say. He said that he has been visiting, he's been making sure that she's safe. He's been trying to visit and make sure that she has enough materials here, sufficient materials. Her grandson is coming to take her, is what he said. Her grandson is going to make sure that she has been rescued and she'll be taken off to their house. With video journalist Devaya, this is Suraj for News9 from Kodagu. Not what we are trying to highlight.
This is a 103-year-old woman who is holed up in that house, locked from the outside. We've understood the story as it is, but it's dreadful, isn't it? The very fact that there was an opportunity for her to get evacuated, taken to a safer place.
ಯಾರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ?
Well, just like this story, there are several stories that are heart-wrenching. And all of these stories are brought together by one disaster. A disaster of unparalleled dimensions. Men and material have been lost, and once again, there is talk of India being prepared for disaster. Or is it? Could the scale of destruction and loss of lives have been lower if there was a warning well in advance? Could the National Disaster Response System and the Meteorological Department have issued warnings, ordering mass evacuation and better preparation for the floods? As it turns out, these warnings came a little too late. Here's a report.
Kerala has witnessed the worst floods in the last century, the last one of such intensity being witnessed way back in 1924. India formulated NDMP in 2016. In June 2016, the NDA government announced the setting up of the NDMP, or National Disaster Management Plan. NDMP was aimed at making India disaster resilient and reducing the loss of human lives and assets significantly. NDMP is aligned to the Sendai framework of 2015. The NDMP is supposed to focus on 4 key issues: understanding the disaster risk, improving disaster risk governance, investing in disaster risk reduction, disaster preparedness. But the disaster which struck Kerala and Kodagu speaks very poorly about India's preparedness and utter failure on all 4 counts. Southwest monsoon. The Southwest monsoon is most eagerly awaited event in the nation's calendar, and its failure or success determines how India does as a nation and as an economy. This time around, it appears one factor was missed being noticed.
That this was Somali jet is present every year. It is a component of monsoon, and it is present everywhere. Every monsoon season. So a Somali jet is essentially the southwesterly winds which are entering into the Arabian Sea from the southern hemisphere.
Right.
Okay, so this time there was unusual, the strength of these southwesterlies has been very, very strong.
Okay.
Resulting in this kind of a rainfall.
But the moot question is whether you need a disaster to suddenly wake up and make these announcements. Numerous disasters after NDMP came into being. Floods in Jammu and Kashmir in 2014. Chennai flooding in 2015. Mumbai and Gujarat flooding in 2017. It is a difficult call due to the sheer size of India's population and growing complexity. Changing demographics and socio-economic conditions and unplanned urbanizations have threatened India's economy, its population and concept of sustainable development. India is extremely vulnerable, to say the least. Close to 40 million hectares, or 12% of the nation's landmass, can be affected by floods and erosion, as has been evident in Kerala and Kodagu. Too little, too late. In fact, it is only after the disaster that the union government decided to announce the setting up of a cyclone warning center in Thiruvananthapuram. For governments in India, deaths and injuries are only cold statistics. Unfortunately enough, there is no humane and proactive approach being adopted. A NEWS9 report.
There you have it. There is a national disaster management plan, a national disaster management plan in place already. But we have a few questions that we have to ask in this situation. Is our disaster response system flawed? Now, why wasn't there a call for mass evacuation? Could early warnings have limited the devastation and fatalities? Is the centre right in refusing to accept foreign aid to help Kerala? That is another issue that we need to talk about. And is India capable of handling the calamity with in-house resources? So these are the points, these are the questions surrounding which we will be framing our discussion for today in this News 9 special. I have with me a panel of guests. I've got Joseph Hoover, environmentalist. Thank you for joining us. You've been with us for a while as well, offering a lot of insights, so I'm glad that you could make it today as well. I also got Ulas Kumar, also an environmentalist. Looking forward to your insights here. I have BC Kalappa, who happens to be a resident of Kodagu as well. A deeper insight as to what is going on in the area from a resident's point of view is what we would appreciate here. I also have a retired PCCF, BK Singh. Thank you for coming in and speaking to us. And also joining us live from Mysuru, from our Mysuru studio, is G. Jairam. He's a retired KAS officer. Thank you for joining us from Mysuru as well. We look forward to your insights in this matters as well. Joseph, I'm going to start with you right away. We've seen this report about the National Disaster Management Plan. The disasters have already happened. They've been happening time and again. But we always look for band-aid solutions rather than a preventive measure. How would you comment?
Yeah, we need to be proactive. That's precisely what we've been talking about for a long time. Because I was part of this 2005 tsunami.
Right.
I was there in that area. I was reporting things. And I would say more than our national, whatever this authority they call about. I mean, I don't have much time for them. But it's a army which is always there. We saw the army coming out there, especially the Madras Engineering Group coming out of tsunami there. They were the people who were responding, saving lives and reconstructing. The same here now. If you look at Kerala, look at Kodagu, it's again the army which is there. Of course, the locals are also helping out. But somehow our authority, the national authority that we call about, they're not up to it. They need to be proactive, they need to be ready. That mechanism is lacking. We have seen it over and over again. We've seen it in Uttarakhand. We've seen it in Orissa. Now we come down south. We have been seeing this over and over again. When are we going to be prepared? I mean, if you ask me that question, I said we are not prepared at all. We wait for things to happen, then we react to it. By then, everything is smashed. And this is happening time after time. 2005, 2018 we are talking about. So why are we in this limbo? Is the authority sleeping? Are they at least listening to what the research scientists are talking about? Like there have been warnings.
That's right.
When you know there's been torrential rains over a period of time, you need to be prepared for it, saying that yes, there could be an eventuality. Rather than saying it could not have happened, we should be prepared for saying that it could happen. Right? So let's be prepared for that. Had we been prepared, I don't think this magnitude of damage would have happened, especially losing lives. Yes, property being lost, it does happen in these kind of flooding. I mean, when you have landslides of that magnitude, it does happen. You lose property. But at least lives we could have saved.
That's right.
You know, life is more important than your valuables. Property you can always do. Now when you talk about Kodagu, a lot of my friends, I travel a lot in Kodagu, so a lot of my friends say they don't know where their property is now. It's disappeared because of the landslides. You could put your finger at saying that is my property. Now you can't say that. So when are we going to be prepared for this? How are we going to be prepared? I mean, look at it. Everywhere it's been happening at the same time, same thing, ever happening over and over again. I feel very disappointed as an Indian. I would love to respond. I would love to give my blood, be there, do something. But when you don't have the authority prepared for it and calling in people, or even at least having the government mechanism ready for it. I mean, why go to this extreme? Just look at Bangalore, for example.
That's right.
If there's flooding in Bangalore, the BBMP is in a knot. It doesn't know what to do. We do have this authority just for namesake. Just an authority there, that's about it.
That's right.
But what's happening?
That's a very valid question over here. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of predicting a disaster, there are certain man-made issues that we need to deal with, and that's where I want to bring you in, retired PCCF BK Singh. Let's face it, the Western Ghats have faced a massive amount of deforestation, and a lot has been criticized about the various moves that have been taken to allow for this to happen. having said that, are we too naive to believe that natural disasters cannot happen when we have created these man-made disasters?
Yeah, that's a good question. My reaction would be that probably we have taken Western Ghats for granted, having known that this is a very, very eco-sensitive and hot spot, which is very important, where a large number of rivers and the tributaries originate. These forests are the birthplaces of these important rivers, where life of the people up to even Tamil Nadu, Andhra, all dependent on it. Then in that case, probably we should be more careful. We should not go on indiscriminately cutting the forests. And Coorg has some special problems. Everything is not under the control of Forest Department. In fact, 2/3 district is in revenue control. And I am told about out of 4,000 square kilometer of entire hilly district of Coorg, only 1,700 square kilometer is in the control of the Forest Department, and the remaining are in the control of the Revenue Department. They are in the control of private control, the coffee estates, etc. are there. But then these private areas, the felling which has taken place, maybe they may be in accordance with the law, Karnataka Preservation of Trees Act, but still the sensitivity of the place, the sensitivity of the Western Ghat should have been considered, and this large scale felling which has gone on, especially in Coorg, could have been definitely avoided. And I am told French Institute of Pondicherry, they have published several papers. In fact, right from 1967, every 10 years they have been publishing some sort of report based on different satellite imageries.
Right.
And from 67 to 2007, in a period of nearly 40 years, the Coorg have lost their 30% tree growth.
Absolutely. And this is at this point that I also want to bring in our guest joining us from Mysore, retired KAS officer G. Jairam. Mr. Jairam, thank you for joining us. Now, I understand that you spent a considerable amount of time in Kodagu as well. And certainly you would have seen a paradigm shift in the way the topography in Kodagu was when you were there and where it was now. Could you walk us through that transition? What has gone wrong in Kodagu from your perspective?
Firstly, I agree with one of the speaker who said there was not much preparedness from the side of administration, district administration, to face such situation. Maybe even the district administration, the district disaster management committee, it has taken by surprise the events which we are seeing in Kodagu. Even when so much rainfall was there in Kodagu, we never heard any alert messages or any instructions being sent to the people living in those areas, sensitive areas. See, we are aware that where the landslide will take place, and the valleys, the river banks, we know the areas where the mishaps will happen, this type of accidents will happen, or people suffer when there is excess this thing. I think district administration, somewhere I feel it was not prepared for this thing. It was not awake also, I think. Only after the incident happened, everyone started moving to the areas to rescue the people and all these things. It is the responsibility of the state to protect the life and property of the people. It is only the state government. It is the state. You cannot pass on this to anybody else or private groups or NGOs. There are two issues involved here. What has happened now, let us forget it. We look forward. What should be done now? I think I read it in paper that they announced that one junior KAS officer has been appointed to take charge of the restoration of the damages. Now, it is very unfortunate that a junior officer lacking experience and authority can take decisions for in the field where we see the large scale damage has taken place. It's unprecedented damage has taken place in the Kodagu district. It doesn't, I think in my view, state government not taken things very seriously. Instead of appointing a junior KAS officer, immediately they should have constituted a committee headed by Chief Secretary. Right now we have an excellent officer, Vijay Bhaskar, who is honest, sincere, very committed. Now, under his leadership with the technical members from different disciplines, would have been constituted a government notification issued immediately asking them to go to the Markera and find out what should be done, what plan should be prepared, what is the action plan, how are you going to proceed, how are you going to rebuild the roads, bridges, what relief you are going to give, damages how you are going to assess, how are you going to build the houses people have lost in thousands. See, all these things require a lot of decision making. I don't think a district level officer can take such decisions. Even now I suggest to the state government to constitute a committee group headed by Chief Secretary, because it is not 10 crore, 100 crore. I think as the days pass, I think we will come across the financial support required for restoration of Kodagu. Maybe it is in thousands of crores. It is not just 10, 100 crores or 500 crores, because we have seen almost 150-kilometer road totally gone, houses gone, livestock gone, people have died. So much has to be done. It is totally unprecedented. We have not seen such situation. We have not come across such situation in Karnataka so far. So I think even now better constitute a high-level committee headed by Chief Secretary. Then the committee should submit a report to the cabinet, because here the planning is there, action plan you have to prepare, execution you have to start. For that you need funds. See, without providing funds, nobody can proceed with the works. So many things are there, so many complicated issues are there. This has to be done immediately. There is an immediate measures the government has to take. Long-term measures, as one of the members said, there is already a report of the Gadgil committee, Kasturirangan committee report is there. So they have already identified more than 1,500 villages in Karnataka as environmentally sensitive areas. Notification has been issued. At least I think in Kodagu and rains were coming like that, they had the list of environmentally sensitive villages list. They would have gone to those places and see that the people are evacuated. First you save the lives of the people. Property and all you can restore. It is not this thing. There is nothing this thing. But at least saving the lives of the people, the district administration could have done. I feel there is a utter failure, negligence on the part of the district administration in tackling this situation.
Absolutely. Well,
it's this obligation, constitutional obligation of the state.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great insight there, Mr. Jairam. I'll be circling back to you on a variety of points that you mentioned over here, but I'll also get Ulas Kumar in as well. The very fact that we're discussing one particular question, could early warnings have limited devastation and fatality? Is that a feasible question? Can that have a feasible answer, is my question.
See, like Joseph sir and others in the panel who spoke about it, with the report in 2011, Kasturirangan report was in 2012, and it's hardly 6 years. We could not have prevented this disaster, because the climate change has been very, very fast. Even in the world level, the amount of destruction what is going to come, which we are thinking that which will happen in 2050 or 2060, like we are thinking many of the islands will go underwater, many of the states, even including Kerala, will go underwater by 2050. Now it is all preponing. The events are getting preponed, which has not been even the world level disaster groups are not able to predict all these things.
Yes.
Because the amount of CO2 which is there in the atmosphere, it is all due to our lifestyle. If people in Kerala and Kodagu are going underwater, it is because of our lifestyle, the lifestyle we have adopted. We all want cars, we are putting in so much of carbon in the atmosphere, and that is responsible for this kind of rains. Like he said, in 100 years we have not seen such a rain. The rains have always been there. I come from Ooty. When I was young, you could see that my 8 months we had beautiful rains. Initially when I was talking to sir, I was telling you Ooty is gone. Yes, Ooty is gone, but you know, the thing is, the event is not across just Ooty, it is across the world.
It was across
and
the world.
The disaster management groups have to know each ecosystem. Western Ghats is the oldest mountain range in the country. Himalayas is much younger mountain. So Himalaya disasters are different from Western Ghats disasters. Here we have from river Tapti to Kanyakumari, 1,600 kilometers, we have 65 rivers originating from grassland, showland ecosystems mainly. So where the grass holds on to these old soils, the grass mainly holds on to the soil.
Right.
And we have, when you say rains, I have been working on a film on the rain. I have been making a film on the rain for the last 5 years because chasing the monsoon, which I have not been able to complete because of so many things, different things happening, because I have been studying the rain.
Right.
If you look at the Shola grassland ecosystem, which is providing water to 65 rivers, 44 of them are in Kerala. What we have done is we have put in all big dams, so that that was the old concept, like dams are the temples of India, which our late Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru told. Today I would say dams are the evils, it is the most dangerous thing to happen. So if you put up a disaster management committee also, if you look at the destruction caused by the dam, especially in Kerala, if you look at the Periyar Basin, Alua and all those Angamali, all those regions, most of the people who have lost their houses or the houses which are filled with water is because of the release of the dam. Dam water has been released when it is raining heavily.
Okay.
We could have easily prevented this. I am not blaming the electricity board, but the dams were it was already full in the month of July. July 30th it was full. But what they thought was it might not rain again.
Absolutely.
So they wanted to generate more power. So they kept the water pending. On one hand they are blaming Tamil Nadu that Mullai Periyar, you waited for it to become 142 feet. Same thing was followed by Kerala. They also wanted the dam to remain at the highest level. So when it rains, when the dam becomes full, you have to automatically open it.
That's right.
Otherwise
and history
it will
has taught us lessons too. 1961 Koyana Dam, same story, pretty much.
See, if you look at the rain pattern in Kerala for the 100 years, even in Kodagu, the previous Kerala disaster was in 1924. That's what 100 years back.
Absolutely.
We had more rain actually, 3,600 millimeters of rain. This rain is only around 2,700 millimeters of rain. But that rain has not caused so much of destruction. We lost 1,000 lives, but the destruction was less because the forest was intact. There was no dams. Idiki Dam was constructed only in 1975.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Singh, you have to
just two quick. I think it is his turn, but
I have a lot to ask Mr. Kalapal.
I have a lot to answer.
I'm sure, yes.
But two quick points, observations rather.
Yes, certainly.
One was that, see, why in 24 the damage was not there and this year there is not. On this I would like to, lot of urbanizations have taken place, even in hills. And as a result, what happened, the natural course of water drains have all been interfered. We have all changed the course, either by making roads or by making habitation, villages, houses, etc. So all these, once you block the natural drains, then that is why there is a big difference between 24 and this year.
Right.
So we must make sure that whenever we plan a town, we must respect the natural drain. Natural drainage pattern, it can be found out by dumping level survey, etc. can be found out, and any hilly district, natural drains. The second thing, also let us compliment the district administration for at least one thing. Although they were not prepared because Kurg was not expecting this, but imagine on 17th of August, 2,700 millimeter within 24 hours in Kurg district. That has made all the difference. That is a game changer. So why not? And thereafter, of course, initially they didn't expect it. No one expects it. It could have happened in Shimoga district, it could have happened in Chikmagalur, in any other hilly district, North Kerala, etc. But then, since the specific rain of 2,700 millimeter in 24 hours, let us give them, because thereafter they have swung into action, their presence is felt everywhere. I am following the entire stories. That is why I am able to tell. So, let us not demoralize them. As far as I am concerned, I would like to compliment them.
Oh, sure thing. But let's get a resident's perspective there. BC Kalpa, I imagine you would have grown up in Kodagu and you would have seen so much change.
Oh, well, it's a pain that I'm losing my motherland. Yeah. If you ask any Kodava, irrespective of the caste, there are a lot of people who live there, It's very unfortunate that the system did not work the way it was supposed to be working, I think Purna Chandra Tejasvi very rightly said, Manushanike Prakriti Avashakate Ideye Vinaha, Prakriti ke Manushan Avashakate illa, which means nature doesn't require us. We require nature. We forgot that. That's the basic. Firstly, the system did not function well. When Madhav Gadgil report came in, where it was clearly indicated that Karnataka, Kerala, Goa and Maharashtra is going to getting under pressure because of this touching the Western Ghats. What is that not happened in the Western Ghats? Who's responsible? I would squarely blame political system for this disaster. Believe me, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning. If what has happened in, let's say, between Madikeri little to on a Mangalore road, what happened for a few kilometers, and let's say another 18 kilometers from Madikeri towards Somapet, what has happened is too bad. If that happens to the complete Madikeri town, what happens? We are living on the hill.
That's right.
What are these causes? Who's responsible? Believe me, who's responsible? It's my pain. There are thousands of representatives, irrespective of the caste. So much of Kodava Sabha, Koda Samaj of Bangalore has organized a camp here. There are thousands of representatives working, complete relief work, whatever we are requesting, and we are doing it right from Friday morning, 8 o'clock. Even now it is going on. Like your office, what's happening in front of your office, you can come to Koda Samaj Bangalore, and the whole of Koda Samajas in Coorg, any other representatives, any other association, TV station, channels, everybody is working. Now look at what are the what are the causes for this. Let's say I have done my school and little of my college. All right, I think I have seen worse rain than this. I have seen worse rain, sir. I have seen everything flooding. So you may ask me a question: what was there then and what is today? Believe me.
Yes.
The paddy fields were converted as layouts. Who's responsible? Government is responsible, sir.
Yes.
What does the paddy field do? They hold the water for months together. As he rightly said, like the Periyar River, Kaveri overflows. Whether it is Lakshmana Tirtha overflows, Hattivala overflows, Madhapura River overflows. There are a number of rivers.
Yes.
The moment when they overflow, the paddy fields takes. Even my property was under water in Napuklu. I am from a village called Napuklu.
Yes.
Yeah, it's completely takes. Today you come to Madikeri town, all paddy fields. Wherever that buildings have collapsed on College Road, all those places were paddy fields. Today they are all so-called layouts.
That's right.
What happened? Kushal Nagar, all those basins were sold by people and filled by rumbles and gravels and made it as layouts.
The natural catchments have disappeared.
Complete catchments have been taken away.
Yes.
One. Secondly, now who made it? Man-made disaster.
Yes.
All right. Now the sand mining. Who knows why? Okay, I may believe in God, and some of them you may not believe in God, but let me say Mother Nature. Why there is mud and sand and the water is flowing, and the water is not taken by the ground. Now you have done so much of sand mining in Coorg. If you go to, I happen to, and I travel a lot in Coorg, and some of my liver, especially Lakshmana Tirtha, or maybe Kaveri in a small patch now, and the water flows, and Lakshmana Tirtha no water. When it comes to summer season, no water.
Absolutely.
It was never. Today what happens? And how do you stop this? Now look at resorts coming up. Okay, people may ask a question, oh, homestay is a problem. I would not comment much on that. Homestay is required when commercialization happens, so the business perspectives are there. Right? Now who is stopping those cutting the hills? The day JCB came into Coorg, then the disaster started.
That's right.
You take the resorts, you go to any hill, panoramic view. I don't name the resorts here, but you get into Kakabe, there's a village, nice place. You get into Virajpet, Madikeri, any wherever this Makandur or a Garwale where these problems have happened, people have given permissions to construct huge resorts. What are you doing in resorts? You are not constructing on the ground. You are cutting the hill. What do you see as a hill? This is just a heap of mud which is supported by stone and trees, as you rightly said. All right. What does the stones do? Hold the mud. What does the trees do? Holds the mud. When you cut, what happens? Now, for example, you go to Madikeri. There are, when you from Sudarshan Circle, if you happen to go there, you see what I'm telling is right or wrong, and I'm sure Joseph and Ulas would know this. Yeah. You see only houses where we used to see trees. Now you see houses. All right. Now we don't have. Especially we don't have sewage system. Please understand, sir. We don't have your sewage system. So you built a house cutting the hill. Now you have hundreds of houses. Now you have hundreds of pits.
That's right.
For the waste collection. Where does the water go? The hill collects. Then where does it happen? Now the stability of the hill is broken. Okay. Now you go to Hattivale. Known people's houses have just come in because the hills have come. Now in Bangalore, there are a lot of Kodava families because they had children working, some relatives working, they've just come. I happened to meet everybody in the last 4 days. Some of them told me, I don't know what is tomorrow. I have lost 25 acres of coffee land, 30 acres of coffee land, 50 acres of coffee land. One lady came in. In my language, she very clearly told me that they are giving a lot of relief to the people who are coming. 78 acres of coffee land.
That's right.
We were 3 brothers, 3 houses, 3 cars, everything, sir. I'm just standing in front of you with a begging bowl. I didn't know whether she has to cry or I have to cry. Now look at, you take this high tension wire. There was a whole lot of strike and everything.
Yes.
You know, a lot of associations. I was also part of it.
That's right.
Okay, 1 lakh trees have gone. Whose properties are?
Exactly. So that's the issue here, isn't it? The very fact that we've created these man-made disasters, giving rise to these natural disasters. Who are we to blame but ourselves? And Joseph, a quick word from you on this. We even engage senior scientists who have a wealth of knowledge. Professor Madhav Gadgil, Dr. K. Kasturirangan. We engage them. We have them form committees. We have them study the entire topography, the entire areas. They come up with their recommendations. They come up with their observations. What do we do with them? Outright reject them.
Yeah, outright we reject them.
So if we're going to reject them itself, then what's the point in even expecting a disaster response?
Yeah, because what happens is we are trying to please people.
Yes.
Lobbies. We have different lobbies, as Kavi was saying, that we have the sand lobby, we have the timber mafia. There's a mafia, the big mafia going around. So now our politicians who think they have every right to do whatever they want, it's very unfortunate. We are the people who vote for them. They need to respect us.
Absolutely.
They need to respect the constitution of our country.
That's right. And that's when I want to bring Mr. Jairam into the conversation as well. In this particular instance, I want your point of view from a bureaucrat perspective as well. We're talking about the Gadgil reports, we're talking about the Kasturirangan reports. What, first of all, necessitates these reports to be brought out, only to be debunked? Isn't expertise enough to accept?
I would like to bring it to the notice of the viewers, certain things, what happened at the government level. I have gone through the recommendations of both the committee report.
Yes.
I was in the assembly, I was sitting in the legislature when the discussion was going on Kasturirangan report. You will be surprised. None of any party, all parties, they were not even prepared to debate, look into the recommendations of the report. They flatly, all of them unanimously passed a resolution rejecting the report. Rejecting the report, very bad. They were not even, they had no patience, forget about knowledge and skill, no patience to look into the merits of the Kasturirangan report. See, we have to balance between environment and human development. Nobody will comment on that. But at least look into the report, as one of the panel members suggested. This report is submitted by the expert, he is an Indian ecologist, Gadgil. Kasturirangan is another big name. So they have submitted the report after making a detailed study. But they have no patience to even read the report. It was not placed before the assembly. It was not discussed at all. One line they said, no, we reject the report because it is going to affect the villages. It is going to affect development. It is going to affect construction activities. It is going to affect mining. It is going to stop everything in this region. People will lose jobs. People will lose something. Now, this is a kind of debate, discussion takes place in the assembly. See, they are the people who have to take the decision on the report of the Gadgil committee or Kasturirangan. Because under Article 48A of the Constitution, the state shall take action. Protecting the forest and wildlife, preserving the ecology, everything rests with the state government. If the assembly is not prepared to debate, now what kind of thing you can expect from the present political system?
So in a way,
very unfortunate.
Disaster management, the plan was there, but we were not ready to follow it.
Exactly.
So then we can't blame the national disaster management.
How can we even ask the question, why are we underprepared, Mr. Singh?
Yes, what is the solution?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes.
I was
6 years that report, almost.
Yes, 6 years. 6 years since that report. Absolutely.
These reports are very valuable. In fact, when I was in the seat as a PCCF, Mr. Madhav Gadgil was conducting, while the whole study was going on, in fact, he held a consultation and we all participated in it, we all contributed and gave specific examples. And if, as gentlemen suggesting that they have not even read, they had no patience to even read the report, that is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And the question here is, do we have a capable people in the government to study the report?
Yeah, that is
That's a big question mark.
That is
do we have a capable people to read the report, to understand and put the things right perspective to say that is this possible?
Yes.
That's the big question mark.
I was telling one more issue.
Look at that one. I'll take a minute from you, sir. Look at the way, and I'm sorry, I'll have to quote this. And I've seen in the TVs what happened. The Chief Minister was reading the newspaper when he was on the survey. Is that the right way to behave? Believe me, is this the right way? And I'm very unfortunate. Does this mean that Coorg is not important to Karnataka?
Lack of sensitivity.
Is Coorg not important to Karnataka? What is Bangalore living? What are we living? We are drinking Kaveri water.
Well, there is this.
Why are we not protecting Coorg?
It seems to have forgotten that Coorg is as much Karnataka as Bangalore is.
We are not protecting Coorg. Take the railway lanes.
Yeah, that is all not required.
Nobody is bothered about Coorg to stop the railway lane. Kerala puts an influence on central government, and without our knowledge the work begins and we again go on strike. In the month of February, I don't recollect the date, 17th or 18th, we had a massive rally in Mysore.
On this issue of railway line, I would also like to bring it out here. See, as we all know, looking at the Western Ghat, as far as Karnataka portion is concerned, this southern Western Ghat had lot of elephants. We have fragmented the forest, we have widened our roads, we have widened the railway lines. We are also going through Coorg, we are going through Chamarajnagar and that Satyamangala. All those things will be disaster. And then where elephants will go? Elephants have started migrating to the north. Now there are population of elephants in Chikmagalur, Shimoga is increasing, North Canara is increasing. And then we are coming up with Hubli-Ankola railway line. And Hubli-Ankola railway line will be another disaster.
Exactly.
It will be another disaster.
Absolutely. No, please look at this, as you rightly said.
But I have
elephants. Please go ahead, sir.
One point which Mr. I agree with him. I agree with Mr. One point which Mr. Kalappa, when he took over, I think it was stated that these reports, even if these reports were implemented, probably the disaster was there. No, but then look at all the landslides are direct consequences of deforestation.
Correct.
Whether we like it or not. Mr. Kalappa has brought it out. You have layouts in paddy fields. Where will the water go? Water has to go in people's houses.
That's right.
People will have to face this. And then insensitivity on part of Chief Minister reading newspaper when he is.
And look at this irony. Elephant. Now what is today? Like human beings, elephants are walking on the roads in Coorg.
Yes.
Early morning they just pick up and throw somebody in. See, it is easy to tell the government, okay, compensation of forest department will come, somebody will come, give 1 lakh rupee, 5 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees for the.
So now at this point we have established that we have these reports, we have the Madhav Gadgil report, we have the Kasturi Rangan reports as well. These were warning signs. There itself is where disaster response could have happened. Now that we'll put a pin on that. There are also weather systems that we can forecast. The India Meteorological Department can help with that as well. Having said that, a lot of the low pressure depressions, what was happening in Kerala could have moved to Kodagu. All of these could have been predicted, probably were predicted, but our response to it, hardly anything. Joseph.
We're talking about Madhav Gadgil report, Mr. Kasturi Rangan's report and all this stuff. We also have common sense.
Yes.
That is what we are lacking now. Forget our politicians.
Which is why we're using these as crutches.
Yeah. So now, if we have our politicians, let's not deal too much with them because they're not bothered about us.
They failed.
I think we as people, we are responsible for that. I think we need to take charge now. Especially now when I see so much of damage happening in Kodagu, I think it's the people of Kodagu which need to come together and say, no, we're not going to allow this to happen again. These permissions which were given, all the disasters being caused by man, we are foolish.
That's right.
We think we are too smart.
Take a railway line through Coorg forest.
I think common sense is what is needed right now. If we had applied ourselves and said, yes, this is going to happen, let's be prepared, let's not allow this to happen. It's basic things, knowledge says that you protect your forests, we are protected. Right? We are going hammer and tongs, trying to denuded our God-given forests and natural forests. And despite applications, petitions, appealing to these guys, stop this madness, they still continue.
Absolutely.
Nobody cares. Are we all just there for the numbers?
That's right.
Aren't we have the right to ask questions? Don't we have the right to be protected?
Yeah.
I think we need to come. We need to come together. People are to be blamed.
Yes. I'll come
to support.
I'll come to you, Mr. Singh, because at this point, at the very point that he's mentioned, I want to address a question to Mr. Jairam as well from Mysore. Mr. Jairam, you've been in the halls of Vidhan Sabha as well, and you've seen perhaps some amount of talk in the corridors about the National Disaster Management Plan, or maybe you haven't as well. How has the response been to that, considering that it's at least there is a policy on paper? Go ahead, Mr. Jairam.
No, you just see 3 days back, Additional Chief Secretary Forest writes a letter to the Government of India saying that we have already rejected the Kasturangan recommendations because it is anti-people. Okay. See, placing restriction, the recommendation clearly says placing restriction on mining, placing restriction on cutting of the trees, placing restriction on the land use. Is it anti-people? See, if there are certain recommendations which are affecting the livelihood of the people, you can set it right. But not the entire, but see, protecting the Western Ghat, preserving the forest, preserving the Western Ghat. As you said, all the rivers in Karnataka, they take their birth from the Western Ghats only. See, they are looking at a very, very limited this thing. It is very unfortunate when these things are going on in Kodagu. State government sends one more letter to the Government of India. We are rejecting the report. Right. But that shows they are not serious about Western Ghats. They are not serious about the recommendations of the committee. See, the only politicians, the stand they have taken is because it will affect the livelihood of the people. See, it is not just the livelihood they should look into it. They should also look into the future generation. They should look into it, look into the Western Ghats system as a whole. The development, not only the development. See, livelihood you can meet by many other means. It is not just by cutting trees or by degrading forest or by this thing. This is the mentality, this is the mindset they have.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If that part, as you rightly said, if the Western Ghat is not protected, how will you get the rain?
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Singh, you had something to say.
Very good. Where will be our rivers? Rivers becomes dry, football ground.
Yeah.
You can play football in Kaveri.
Exactly, you can play football.
It's unfortunate.
No, they don't have long-term vision. They don't have this thing. No, who has to build the cat? Who has to tell them? Very unfortunate.
There has to be
I think
political will
everything
only.
looks blank for the people.
No, we need to come together.
We need to get politicians final decision has to be taken by the political body.
So,
yes. All we can do, we can talk, we can suggest, we can recommend. Who has to take the decision? Political body.
No.
Is political body ready to take the decision? That's a big question mark.
No, that is questionable. I don't think.
Believe me, yes, sir. You are right.
I am not
Jairam,
confident.
I have one thing to say.
I am not confident.
Mr. Jairam, there's one
And
thing
having worked in the state government,
that we as people have the right to put things right. I mean, we can't be depending on these politicians. They are not bothered about us. They're only bothered about the next election, about their own group.
Now the people have to take the movement.
I think we need to step in and say stop this, and we need to get onto the roads. I think that's
we should not rest at this level. We have to take the movement now.
Yes,
we have people movement.
You had a point.
Only when it bring lot of pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
BK Singh had a point to make.
Just
only under pressure.
Just a couple of minutes, please. See, now all these reports which have been rejected, now it is high time that the state should reconsider and accept that. It should be accepted with grace, and there should be total ban of felling in entire Western Ghat. And you remember recently, Green Tribunal had banned on the request of Kaveri Sena, on a petition from Kaveri Sena, Green Tribunal has banned felling of private trees and even government trees in the entire Western Ghat until 10 trees are planted for every tree which has been felled. But what state government did? They have gone to Supreme Court and they have got it overturned. Now this ban imposed by Green Tribunal.
You want to know the joke, sir? What central government told when Kodawa committee went to meet Piyush Goyal, Mr. Piyush Goyal? He said, so what? You plant 75,000 trees. That's it.
Oh, that's
He did tell one of the Kodawa member who went to see them to stop this deforestation for high tension wire, he did tell that, okay, you plant, if it is 50,000, you plant 75,000
That's right.
trees,
That's right.
yeah?
Yes.
See,
If
here,
this is the behavior, it is very clearly that, what is the motto?
yeah,
They even diluted the tree act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without, Tree Act has also been diluted without understanding the.
We do not have a policy for sand extraction.
Exactly,
When
sir.
Supreme Court said
Yeah.
ban sand extraction from Kaveri and other things.
Exactly.
The government went on appeal to vacate the stay.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
See, here the point here is when this solution of saying that
Because they are
when you
working
cut
with the
down.
lobby.
That's right. They're working with the lobby.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it is purely backed up by the political system, isn't it?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
benefiting
In fact,
them.
I travel
It
a
is
lot.
benefiting them,
I saw
everybody.
that. I saw so much of sand. It's a river, open river, just a sand near Karur and other places. I asked them, what is this? They said, this is Kaveri River. I said, when did last reach the Bay of Bengal? He says, last 30 years I have not seen.
it's not seen.
I asked him a question, did this reach this year? Because we had so much of rain here.
That's right.
Water started flowing. Now, who's responsible for this disaster, sir?
And that's when, now that the disasters happened, we also have to look at things such as what next? Now we have a National Disaster Relief Force, the NDRF. They've done wonderful work.
Yeah.
We have visuals of that.
Believe me, yes.
Wonderful work. But are they under-equipped?
They are still under-equipped.
They are
don't
very
know.
much under.
Yeah, I believe in Kerala boats were shortage.
There's a boat.
If the fishermen did a much better job than the army and the navy. They have done the
Because they had the
very.
capability.
Tamil Nadu
they had-
fishermen.
And they have the know-how.
They have the know-how. They are
The
well
knowledge of
equipped.
the terrain.
Please
That's
look
okay,
at
we
Kerala. We know very little. All right. What I heard is something like 11 lakh people are affected, 3 lakh houses have gone, and 30,000+ crores. That is underestimated according to me.
Okay.
Now, instead of keeping this material ready, it's better to proactive and protect the nature, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Please understand,
And
if
the-
Idukki had opened,
Yes.
Cochin
But-
city would have 30 feet of mud.
Yeah.
Believe me, not water.
That's right.
And in fact, I work for an organization, I told you, I don't want to put it on air now. Most of my offices are flooded. 7 feet, 8 feet water. I know that what I'm going through.
See the.
This is in Kerala.
It's after the disaster also what Kerala is facing is you see a lot of wild animals have come, lot of snakes have come, crocodiles have come.
Joseph can add a little bit on that too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, look at the disaster. We have only talking about the human aspect. of it.
Yeah.
With the
property
present
aspect of
political
it.
system
Look at
and
the ecological
the
disaster.
corrupt bureaucratic system, can we hope these things will be taken seriously by this thing? They are all challenges. Implementing the Kasturi Rangan committee report recommendations is a challenge to the government.
That's right.
Whether a corrupt system,
No, when
political
he
system
says
and
that
administrative
it
system
is
can tackle all these things.
when he says that see it is that people will lose job, the government is saying that it is only under the guise of the people. They are actually working for some rich people,
Yes,
some
yes.
miners and some of the
Yes.
timber lobby.
Precisely
They want
the
mining
point I
to
wanted to make.
illegal
mining.
Are
Value
people,
the-
are the
want
people being used as a front,
Yeah.
just an excuse
Exactly.
to further maybe mining and quarrying interests?
Exactly. Yeah.
No,
Everywhere
And
this is happening.
people
And
are
this
not
has-
mining is
educated.
a
Mass
major.
is not educated.
Yeah, and this thing of saying
We
that
need to
when
educate
you
the mass. We
when you
need to
cut down
educate the
50,000 trees,
That's right.
we'll plant 75,000 trees. It will never work.
Timber
Because-
lobby, in collusion, I am sorry, in collusion with some of the
Who will
officers
count
of
the trees
Revenue and
afterwards?
Forest Department, have done lot of destruction in coal.
Exactly.
They are responsible for some such catastrophes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The Kodava people were very proactive. Even I have gone for that 50,000 trees being cut for a power line, which is actually the power line is from Kaiga to Calicut. It's one coastal line. Instead, they have taken it via Coorg for just cutting down the trees.
Exactly.
They wanted
Now,
the
here's
law.
another question. Here's another question. A point that we made.
Kodagu region was a thick forest area.
Yes.
Now it is 16 to 70% forest area.
Absolutely.
Coverage.
Now, here's a question I have. Generally, whoever can answer this best, please go ahead. A conundrum that we came across in the beginning of this discussion as well. Dams that are filled up to a certain level, you can perhaps predict that it'll rain heavily. Maybe preemptively we can release a bit of water. Here's a catch-22 situation. Karnataka has been facing a drought for several years now. It's only the rains that have sort of reversed it, but perhaps given an opposite, an opposite reaction. But can we do that now? Can we still encourage decision makers to release water ahead of time, preemptively, knowing that there could be
See, they should have understood, I'm taking from the Kerala point of view, they should have understood that the monsoon is not over, southwest monsoon is not over, and we have the northeast retreat monsoon to come in the next month, October 20th onwards. So the dam was already full, almost full, the Iriki dam was almost full.
Yeah.
So they could have easily brought it down to at least 75%, then the damages would have been very less.
Periyar would have collected there in Idiki.
Yeah.
That's right. So now we've come to certain considerations that could have been made as far as disaster management and disaster response is concerned. There is so much that could have been done. Again, where should we have, could we have, introspection can only take us so much ahead. But maybe disasters going forward can be curtailed at a certain level. But let's go on to another issue that we want to discuss today. We know that India leads by example in several aspects. And when it comes to the Kerala floods too, it has set an example. It has refused to accept any funds from foreign countries and has taken a decision to handle the calamity by itself. And India, perhaps by this measure, looks to stand as an epitome of self-respect. We ask the question, is this the right way to go about things? Let's just take a look at this report real quick.
Centre not to accept funds from foreign nations. India not to accept 700 crore rupees from UAE. The United Arab Emirates had offered 700 crore funds towards the Kerala flood mayhem on August 21st. There was a huge hue and cry over the issue on social media. But if sources are to be believed, putting a break to all the issues, the centre is unlikely to accept any funds from foreign nations. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, had reportedly called Prime Minister Modi over the issue and had made the offer. It is understood that the UN is also offering aid for Kerala. The government of Maldives has also offered to donate $50,000 or 35 lakh rupees as aid for flood-affected people in Kerala. Several foreign governments too have pledged support for Kerala. UAE 700 crore rupees, Qatar 35 crore rupees, Maldives 35 lakh rupees, amounting to a total of 740 crore rupees. States too lend a helping hand. Help has poured in from other Indian states as well. Over 200 crore assistance has been offered in cash by various states. Telangana 25 crore rupees, Maharashtra 20 crore rupees, Uttar Pradesh 15 crore rupees, 10 crore rupees each by Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Odisha, West Bengal, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and Delhi. 5 crore rupees each by Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh and Jharkhand. Chhattisgarh and Arunachal Pradesh have offered 3 crore rupees each, while Manipur, Jammu and Kashmir and Puducherry have offered 2 crore rupees each. The centre is of the opinion that it can handle the calamity itself, utilizing in-house resources without depending on overseas donations. However, the final verdict in this regard will be taken by the Ministry of External Affairs. Sources close to the MEA say that they have not received any communication in this regard from the centre. India hasn't accepted any overseas funds from 2007. Since 2007, India has not accepted any aid from a country or a multinational organization, and the policy is likely to remain the same for the Kerala calamity as well. The central government had declined foreign assistance even during the floods in Uttarakhand and Kashmir. India declined Russian assistance during Uttarakhand floods, saying that it had adequate ability to deal with any emergency of that magnitude. Can the government handle the monsoon mayhem all by itself? 231 people have lost their lives in the last 10 days in the worst ever floods that has hit Kerala in over a century. 14 lakh people have been rendered homeless in the aftermath of the floods. The Kerala government has sought a special package of 2,600 crore rupees from the centre for the massive rebuilding exercise of the state. So far, the centre has released a grant of 600 crore rupees. However, Pinarayi Vijayan had said that Kerala had suffered damages of about 20,000 crore rupees. The state government of Kerala has asked the centre to increase its borrowing limit and also sought permission to impose a 10% cess on GST to mobilize funds for rebuilding the devastated state. Kerala floods is not a national calamity. The situation in Kerala was declared as a severe calamity, but the Ministry of Home Affairs had not declared it as a national calamity. It is said that there was no such provision to declare any calamity as national calamity under the Disaster Management Act. The rains have subsided considerably in the last 2 days in Kerala. However, vast stretches of land still remain underwater in the districts of Ernakulam, Thrissur, Pathanamthitta, Alappuzha and Kollam. Though the centre's move appears idealistic and is laudable, the big question is, can the centre really manage the flood mayhem only with its own resources? NEWS9 report.
We've been asking a bunch of questions, and on the basis of the report as well, I do have two questions that I want to ask over here. Is the centre right in refusing to accept foreign aid to help Kerala? Subsequent to that, is India, are we as a nation, capable of handling calamities with our in-house resources? That kind of segues into the earlier part of our discussion. I want to bring G. Jairam in from Mysore. In fact, we'll try to reconnect with him in a little while as well. Joseph, in between we were having a little chat about this. The very fact that we take money from the International Monetary Fund. Why are we being, for the risk of a better word, shy about this?
I mean, we are pretty ridiculous, I would say that, because we go through FDI.
Yes.
Like for our business, we reach out. People come in flooding with our system, industries and banks, etc. And then also we go to the IMF, go to the IMF. I mean, when somebody comes to help humanity, what's wrong with receiving? Let's have a large heart.
That's right.
Let's leave behind religion, caste, all this petty-mindedness, and say we as a people need to be united. We need to do something to that.
But was that the issue here, though? Because we've not been receiving money from overseas since the year 2007. So is it really about that? It's not.
It's not. I would say that it is mere pettiness. I think we should receive. See, the money, even 700 crores given by UAE is not enough. We need you can see Kerala Chief Minister saying 25,000 crore is the damage.
Is the damage done?
Yes. Yeah, and so you are saying that your centre could not have contributed. Centre could give only 500 crores. Of course, if you add to what the Home Minister gave, it's around 600 crores.
Absolutely.
So what is wrong in accepting it?
No, another aspect I want to bring in here is we don't want to accept foreign fund, but at the same time we offer fund to Nepal when there's a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean?
Are we too egotistical a nation?
Yeah. Like, you're reaching out there. So we have enough money to reach out to Nepal or Maldives or wherever there's a disaster, natural disaster. So what's wrong in accepting that?
Absolutely.
I
want to introduce, firstly I want to introduce you, Dr. Kavirappa. You've just joined our panel as well. Dr. Kavirappa is a committee member with the Kaveri Temple Board. He's also a planter from Kodagu as well.
And ex-Vice Chairman, Coffee Board of India.
And ex-Vice Chairman of the Coffee Board of India as well. So, a variety of perspectives we can give. But when talking about this particular instance, every rupee counts, doesn't it?
Yes. My feeling is, see, there is no harm in taking money from foreign countries, because when other countries are in problem, we also gave the funds. So, and at this hour, because especially I am talking about Kerala, because lot of people are working in UAE.
Yes.
So they are giving their service to that country. So why not we take money from them?
And that's precisely what they've said.
Yes.
We appreciate the service that the people of Kerala, the people of India do for us, and we'd like to give a little back.
And one more thing is, central government is not coming with full support, because they have given only 500 crores. With 500 crores, we can't do anything, because their need is around large is about 20,000 crores.
Correct.
So
that's at this point. That is a question, a rhetorical question, perhaps. And I do have to take a quick break, and I'll come to you, Mr. Singh. The question I also want to ask our viewers: are we too proud a nation to accept help from overseas? We'll answer these questions. We'll explore this question after the short break. Stay tuned.
जब किचन में हो कुचीना
तो हर कोई बनाना चाहेगा खाना
कुचीना
हो रहा है चली जहां मैं तो चल्ला मंजिल है दूर घनी हर राह पे मुश्किल है खड़ी दमादम दम 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 दमदार सुपर कैरी चल मेरे
इसमें है दमदार इंजन, जबरदस्त माइलेज और बेहतरीन हैंडलिंग। मेरा सुपर कैरी, मेरा दमदार यार।
I spent a few days in Gujarat, days that will never leave me. Stepping onto the silvery sands of Kutch, it seemed ironic that we strive so hard to fly to the moon, and the moon itself lands on the earth here. Coming face to face with the Asiatic lions of Gir, I could feel their piercing stares asking me, what is this funny little creature doing in my forest? In the temples of Somnath, arms folded, head bent in devotion, such a sense of tranquility. Forget worries, forget pain, forget dialogues even. Just the Creator and I, the creation. Walking in the footsteps of our forefathers in Dhulavira, I was humbled yet filled with pride. Dwarka gave me Krishna and Moksha. Sabarmati bestowed me with the Mahatma and his teachings. Gujarat has so much to offer. Come, breathe in a bit of Gujarat.
Looking for ready-to-move-in apartments at Yashwantpur? Presenting Platinum City. Call White Rays at 99805 69264.
Now we're getting help. India is getting help. Kerala is getting help. Perhaps even Kodagu may be next in line to have help offered from overseas. We're getting help from within the country, and that's wonderful. Several states have jumped in. 200 crores worth of help coming in from other state governments as well. But then the government of the United Arab Emirates, a country that has a considerable number of Indian immigrants, from laborers to executives. Everybody has contributed to the United Arab Emirates, and the royal family there has stated that, look, considering that you've helped us grow as a country, we want to give a little back as well. That was received with a response to the contrary from the central government. As much as the state government of Kerala was ready to accept these contributions, the central government said no. So that's a question that we are asking over here. Are we too proud a nation to accept help from outside?
We are so proud about it because we don't have it in first place. Our politicians are receiving the money.
Yes,
now they have come up with electoral bonds also. So when they can receive, and of course like Joseph sir and others were telling about IMF borrowings, which each Indian bond also has to repay the IMF and the World Bank. So when we are already borrowing, what is wrong when the situation is so bad? Why can't we take that 700 crores? It also adds to the help. We need much more money actually.
And it is for a good cause.
Yeah.
Now look at the system. Now look at the political system. What was then and what is today. All right. Now how many countries Modi ji has gone and created an awareness. Okay. Let's look at the positive side of the business. Let's not look at the negative side. When you have gone there and you met every leader there, you hugged him, you told him my country is this, whether it's in yoga day, whatever it is, let's look at a prospective way. When you look at a prospective way, and I'm sure it is right that we should accept it. There are two things. I think has rightly said, I think he was rightly saying, we have given the service, Indians have given, there are so many people are there in those countries. No harm in taking this support. At the end of the day, he has come for one review. Of course, there was rain, he could not review the complete situation. He has given 500 crores. Where is, whatever the estimation you are showing is also on, almost 20,000 crores. Where is 500, where is 20,000? From where would you get that money?
That's right.
And you look at that disaster, there are two more states are waiting, according to the information, whatever we have, which is Goa and Maharashtra. If Goa and Maharashtra part is gets destructed like this, how will you manage? What are your plans?
What are your plans?
Yes, exactly. What are your plans? Because at the end of the day, you have not seen what's going to come. Like initially I told him, it's just the beginning in Coorg. We don't know what's going to happen.
Coorg also requires more than 1,000 crores.
Exactly. No, please understand. From Madikeri to Mangalore, I don't think you can lay tar or anything on the same road. You may have to find a different road. Same thing, I saw some of the pictures where my team has gone and seen. My so much Bangalore team has gone and because the relief materials, whether it reaching or not, they wanted to find out. They have seen, they say, kilometers have gone somewhere around 100, 200 feet have sunk.
Exactly.
How do you fill that thing? So
Absolutely. Because Singh had a point to make.
I was thinking, initially the central government has said no. But then if the disaster takes a different trajectory, probably they will revise.
No, it has already taken.
Let me
they should accept it.
Then, I am not telling that they should immediately jump for that. But then look, this reconstruction, the repositioning everything back in place is not an overnight is not a day, 2 days, months to 2 months affair. It will take care to bring Kerala back to the stage it was. It may take 3 years, 4 years, maybe
minimum of 15 years you require, sir.
20 years. Kerala has gone 20 years back.
Now 20, if you pump in 20,000 crore right on day one, you know, this money will be misused. I am telling you.
Yes.
People waiting for converting this money into election fund, converting, bureaucrats will knock off, and so on and so forth. I would not like to speak more than this. I think let us slowly give money. And if central government in the first go has given 500, it is okay. Wait. Another second go, they will give 500. If they have said, they have taken the responsibility of providing fund to Kerala. When they have said no to foreign funding, they have taken the responsibility.
I would add little here.
I want to play devil's advocate over here. I want to ask the question. All right, now that the Indian government perhaps believes that we are self-sufficient and we have the ability, financial ability to take care of calamities and such, are we as citizens, are we as state governments skeptical of this ability to service our own areas?
Now, when we looked at the fund coming in, that is one side of your business, one side of your story. Are we capable? Do we have the technology? Do we have the capacity to build the infrastructure? Are we a nation? I don't think we have a capacity to build such a kind of infrastructure.
We are not willing to answer reports.
Exactly, because when you cannot read that the report, Gadgil report or Kasturi Rangan report, do we have a capacity to build this infrastructure? It's better, instead of money, or maybe along with the money, it's better to seek some of the developed countries to give the technology to build the infrastructure. We need the technology, we need the capacity, otherwise it's highly impossible. Thousands of kilometers were laid over a period of hundreds of years. Now, how will you do it in 1 year, 2 years? I was speaking to somebody in Kerala, just to analyze the situation. He said, Kalapa, between 15 to 20 years we have gone back. I said 15, he said 20. Mr. Ullah said 20 years. So 20 years. He rightly said, where will the fund go? We don't know. Question is, apart from money support,
it will all go for 2019.
Exactly.
Yes.
Apart from money, it is only advisable, maybe this is my personal opinion, that should seek those developed countries to give technological support, infrastructure support, any other support.
I would say we have been talking about India as a developing country. For the last 30 years, we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Right? Last 30 years, we've
an
been
emerging economy.
Developing country, emerging economy, and all this stuff.
Yeah, economy is
when are we going to be
political systems?
So let's take that expertise from outside. Let's accept that.
Exactly.
I mean, funds have come, ideas have come. Let's bring it in the system. It's for the people. Today, A might be the leader. Tomorrow, B might be the leader. They'll be gone. It's a future generation that we'll have to leave behind something. So let's all put something good. Let all technologies come together. Let all the people come together. Let's do something.
But is it that we've constantly been discussing this picture that look, we fancy ourselves as a country as a savior of South Asia. Whenever there's a disaster somewhere else in South Asia, India stepped in and has contributed tremendously as well. And well, we want to be seen as a country which has the money to take care of all of this. If this happens with our own land, shouldn't we be looking into our coffers first?
Now, first of all, why you should declare it as a national disaster,
which has still not happened.
Happened.
I don't know why. I really don't understand why it has not been. Because tsunami was declared national disaster.
That's right. Yes.
So why this has not been declared as a national?
If you look at the whole,
there should not be south and north politics.
I don't
Do you
think
believe that's it?
I don't think.
Okay.
Because of Tamil Nadu, the tsunami was in Tamil Nadu. So if that way, then that also should not have been declared.
Tamil Nadu rain,
that is not important.
Rain was a
to me,
sign
it looks
for
like
us.
that is not important.
He never woke up on that.
Presently, what is important is help the people, rescue them, give them relief. Camps are there, and rebuilding is going to take 5 to maybe 50. Some of them are telling 15 years. And if you pour all 20,000 crore on day one, only God will.
And it's not even 20,000 crore that they're asking. Immediate relief that was asked by the Pinarayi Vijayan administration is for 1,200 crores.
Yes. That will come.
So eventually 100 crores was first given by Rajnath Singh, followed by 500 crores by when Narendra Modi visited. So that's a total of 600 crores. So perhaps one may expect that the remaining 600 may or may not.
So they can accept this UAE fund, for that.
No,
they can
accept it. Looks like
so the channel is through the central government.
When the central,
I agree. I agree.
Any foreign funding has to be through central government.
Correct.
Now that the central government has taken the responsibility of rejecting the foreign fund, at least for the time being, let us let Kerala government wait for the second installment, third installment, as and when. Let them first spend usefully. Let them not knock it off for other purposes.
Right.
Let them first use it.
No, but there are a lot of individuals contributing from all the foreign countries.
Let some progress be seen on the ground.
That's right. So there are certain, well, I'm going to bring in a little bit of accounting over here as well. There are certain measures that have to be taken as well. The Kerala government, the onus is on them to write out a schedule, a source and use of funds as well. Source has been determined. You got the various sources of funds coming in, we got 200 crores coming in from other state governments as well. Let's not forget that. So we have 600 plus 200, so the 800 crore rupees. All right. What will that be utilized for? The onus is on the Kerala state government to show where you intend to use these funds.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now the remaining expected funds or requested funds as well, where do you propose to use that as well? And there is accountability. There has to be accountability on both sides as well.
I think it should be transparent. I think it is transparent because the Kerala government is collecting everything in the CM's account.
Right.
So he has to be accountable for that.
Okay.
Yes.
It will be released to different collectors, 14 collectors also who are...
14, yeah. But funding, there should be one agent to collect the money and to implement also. And there should be a monitoring committee with technocrats, because if the politicians are there in the committee, naturally the money goes here and there.
It will get siphoned off somewhere.
So there should be a technical committee which monitors all the funds.
You still need politicians to set up these committees, though. That's the challenge. That's the challenge. That's another disaster to the making.
In the beginning, Mr. Joseph very clearly said, it's completely covered by political system. For anything and everything, if you look at that,
No, but if you put bureaucracy there, then we lose democracy also. That is the problem.
So there isn't a right answer here. We're establishing that no matter what we do, we have to involve the politics
exactly,
of it.
because they are our representatives.
Yes.
If you start giving it to committees and all bureaucrats, then you are losing democracy. Then you don't believe in democracy.
Government has a system. The expenditure has to be through collectors, the district deputy commissioner, and let it be. You can't change the system. There is an account code. There is accountant general doing internal audit. There are external audits. There are a lot of people waiting. Even the journalists are there taking photographs of rebuilt roads, rebuilt townships, etc. So there is definitely accounting.
I think the current money which is coming in is going to be used only for rehab and whatever the current thing.
Correct.
Rebuilding the state that's a different account.
Rebuilding is a completely... Let's not even get into insurance.
Exactly. If you look at that immediate requirement, roads are not there.
Yes.
Bridges, 200 bridges have gone. First you protect put the infrastructure in place. Roads and bridges to reach homes.